Welcome to supertraining.tv. The last cliffhanger question was, how do you get a PR no matter what, even when you're having a shitty day? How do you seize the day? How do you salvage the day? The answer is to do something that you've never done before, and that way it's automatically a personal best. It's automatically a PR. So if you never did a deadlift deficit where the barbell is almost resting on your shoelaces with 5 chains per side and 300 pounds, then it's a PR. It's a personal best. Anything you do, even when you do the barbell, it would be a PR because you've never done that particular exercise before. If you do a chain suspended good mornings against bands, that'd be another PR. Something you never tried before. Get a little wild, get a little crazy, get creative with it. Have fun with it. Not every day of your life has to suck. Have fun. You're in the gym. Be creative. You owe it to yourself to have a good time in there, as well as bust your ass, as well as make improvements. So enjoy that little tip. Why do I always get so perverted on this? Anyway, we got a question for the Power Project. We got a question from Taylor Vensko off of the Super Training Gym fan page. If you're not on the Super Training Gym fan page on Facebook, then you are a loser. Go sign up, subscribe, whatever you call it. I don't even know. But I got too many friends. That's the rumor. I got too many friends on Facebook, so I can't friend you, but you can subscribe to me, I think. I don't know, I gotta check that out. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. Your first question is, you want to know, how do I teach leg drive to the lifters in my gym? I just really try to teach people to get tight, have their legs in a position that allows them to keep their stomach up higher than normal to help shorten the range of motion. And I like to see the legs flexed throughout the entire range of motion. But also, I think the leg drive thing is overdone sometimes. I think guys that are benching 275 and stuff's like, I benched 405 in high school. I benched 500 pounds off, on a floor press. Benched 225 for 40 reps before I ever even really thought about leg drive, before I knew anything about it. So I'm no mutant or genetic freak or anything, but what I'm saying is, I don't think it's overly important. Look at some of the guys that bench real big. The guys that bench real big in bench shirts, they do have leg drive. You pretty much kind of have to. You got to stabilize your body to be under those kind of weights. But in general, I just think it's overrated or overused term. You do need some leg drive. You do need some leg stability. But leg drive, is it helping your bench that much? I don't really believe so. I know some idiot out there is going to say, hey, Bell, try benching with your feet out straight and then tell me what you can press. Even when I've done that on the floor, it didn't make a difference. I benched the same weight either way. Obviously, if you did it on a flat bench, it'd probably have a more profound effect. But either way, you guys get my point. If you're benching 275, you got other problems. You got a 14-inch arm hanging off your shoulder. You got major problems, and leg drive is not your main issue. So to answer your question, how do I teach them to get, to get leg drive? I mainly just say get tight. Let's try to flex the legs. I like to see the leg on an angle. Why can't I ever do this on here? Downward, like yay. So this would be the kneecap. The top of my wrist would be the hip. You guys see why I like that? Because that helps bend the body upward. It helps bring the thoracic spine up. It helps push the belly up. It allows you to bench press in a much safer fashion because you have a shorter overall range of motion. So that's how you fix that, basically. I also like to make sure that the guy's feet are in the correct position. There is no absolute right way, but in general, feet under the knees is a good spot for him. And it just depends on each guy's flexibility. Your other question is, it says that you're weak off the floor with your deadlifting, and I would say first things first is you got to add in some speed training. You need speed training nearly every week, or you could do a 2 or 3 week block of it and take a week off from pulling altogether. But you definitely need some speed pulls. You need to be careful about your positioning. And that's why speed pulls can be so great. Get in the 70 to 80% range on your speed pulls, and do about 6 to 8 doubles or singles. Either way, you can mix it up and go back and forth between the two. 6 to 8 doubles or singles. Make sure your positioning is good. Make sure you're not lowering your hips too low. That's gonna create some. That's gonna mess up your lockout and all kinds of stuff. If you're starting too low, make sure you're getting yourself tight. Make sure your hips aren't too high. You always want your hips lower than your shoulders to start. You always want your hips lower than your shoulders to start. So try to remember that. Get your body tight and work in a lot of that work, a lot of that speed work. You also could use more ass power. So some things like some Dimmel deadlifts, good mornings, any of that kind of stuff. Building up your butt and your hamstrings, I believe, will help build some explosive strength off the floor as well. Stiff leg deadlifts can be really useful for that, and also deficit pulls would be really useful for you. Not only just you building up your lower back, but also a deficit pull is a great way to teach you how to get tight. A 3 to 4 inch deficit would be preferred in this situation. And now you're asking, would it be better for you to lift in a higher hip position? Possibly. Kind of hard to say exactly for sure, but possibly. So, take a look at that. Record your speed work. See what it looks like. We have one last question that kind of relates to the last question that we just had. This is from Deluke61, and he wants to know, is it always best to go as fast as possible in a deadlift? You want the intent to be there. You want to walk up to that bar with a rage inside you. Like you just want to snap that barbell in half. You want to eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You want that intent in there of just being as fast and explosive and as aggressive as possible when you walk up to that barbell. Now, however, you don't want to try to tear into the bar so fast that you lose your leverages, because powerlifting is about leverages. It's about not just leverages, but positioning. You got to be in good position to pull these big weights. And if you want to make improvement, you better be in a good position to do so, because as the weights get heavier and heavier, all kinds of crazy shit's going to happen to you. You'll lose control of the bar. The bar might slip out of your hands. You're going to develop lockout problems. You'll develop problems off the floor. Develop numerous problems just simply by not being on top of your form. So for you as well, Deluke, I would recommend speed pulls. Keep your percentage somewhere in the 70 to 80% range. If you have a band on there, you probably lower that percentage by about 10%. But you need to be explosive. You need to make sure your body's in good position, and do dead stop pulls. So stop yourself on the floor each time for a 2 to 3 count, and then pull again whenever you do repetitions. So you're breaking through that same sticking point each time off the floor, and you're also building a lot of explosiveness. Also, deficit pulls would be great in answering either one of these two questions. Hopefully that helps clear some things up for you guys. And we got a cliffhanger question for you tonight. Another great one. Why on earth were animals sacrificed in the parking lot of Super Training Gym? The original Super Training Gym, there was animals sacrificed in the parking lot, and we need to get to the bottom of why. Why the hell was that going on? For the record, I do hate animals. I know a lot of you will be very upset with me, but I don't get along with them. They don't get along with me. Dogs are always trying to bite me and shit. At least I think that. I'm scared of them because I'm a big puss. But anyway, I don't like animals, but I would never harm an animal in that way. But find out why animals were slaughtered in the parking lot of Super Training Gym, the original stomping grounds of Super Training Gym back in 2006. That is it from supertraining.tv. I'm out of here.